Are you serious? Are you serious? Everybody get a cup of coffee and just calm down. But it is getting ugly in the Middle East. I'm telling you, the Houthis are still loose. Hamas is still fighting Israel in Gaza. 59 hostages are still being held. Iran still has a nuclear program. I mean, think about this. And Turkey is still wanting to pounce on Israel. The Assyrian, Hamed al-Sharara is still in charge of Syria. Think this through, guys. You got all of these moving parts. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And I'd like to share more about all of this, including Israel Hall is going to be stuck in Paris, France, because his plane can't get to Israel. There's issues, guys, everywhere. Let me just put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. We just go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Or call him on the phone at 877-646-5347. Guys, seriously, here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar is losing half of its buying power. That means $100,000 today will only be worth about $50,000 tomorrow. That means even though your home may be the amount of money that you may gain in equity in the next 6 years, you're losing it in the dollars, the current value of the dollar. You're losing. This is not good. It's got to be fixed. And if you go to the grocery store, you see the prices. You go fill up the car. Yes, the price of gas has come down, but it's still hanging around $3 a gallon. Yes, the insurances, the price of insurance premiums have went up the roof. Yes, your co-pays are expensive. Yes, your the amount you have to pay before they pick up the bill is increased. Everything's going, prices are going up, the dollar's going down. Guys, we need a way to secure your revenue. There's got to be a way to secure your wealth. There is. With the oldest currency in history, the biblical currency, gold. And at Noble Gold, they have gold bars, they have gold coins, or they have them available. They'll ship them to you, or you can roll over that 401k into a gold or silver IRA. Guys, it's time to protect your investment, protect your retirement, protect your savings, protect your inheritance for your family and children. Do it now. Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com and tell them Pastor Paul sent you. And oh, by the way, if you qualify, it's real quick here, they're going to give you 10-ounce silver bar, the silver flag bar, 10 ounces. They'll give it to you for free. It's worth about $350. Guys, you'll be glad. Tell them Paul Begley sent you. You'll be glad you did. All right. Yes, I'm just serious. I'm just getting tired of everybody getting beat up all the time. Well, we're running a special. Matter of fact, we're doing a May Day, and I'm going to do it through the rest of the evening tonight, up until midnight tonight. Guys, go to my website and order the May Day special. You get both of these. You get both of these DVDs, The Signs of His Coming, which is isn't that a 2 DVD series? I can't see it. I can't remember. The Signs of His Coming, and before I wrote the book, Revelation 9/11, I did the DVD, Revelation 9/11. Get both of these for $35. Guys, your love gift of $35. It is Heidi's May Day special. I'll ship them both to you. You'll be glad that you did that. Really great information. It shows you how prophetic things are. We're getting download from the Lord. Remember when I told everybody, God told me. And I'm not afraid to say when God tells me, because rarely do you get an absolute, you guaranteed, a right now word from God, but you do occasionally. God gave me a right now word besides writing this book. He told me, he said, Paul, I've opened a window to go to Israel. I've just opened a window. You need to go. Take as many people as you can. And so I did. In that he said, it's a short window. When that window closes, it's going to be a while before you're going to get to go back even if you do get to go back. In other words, and so I knew then that something was coming. So I told everybody, look, we're going to Israel. Here's the date. We went in early February of 2023. 57 people. We went. It was a glorious trip. It was, of all the 11 trips I've made to Israel, it was probably the best one. The group was amazing. I mean, all of the amazing things that God blessed us to do. Baptized 40 people in one day in the River Jordan. We took communion at the Garden Tomb. We sang and fellowshiped on the Mount of Olives. We sang praise songs as we took a boat ride across the Sea of Galilee. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And the fellowship was amazing. But then we got back, and the window was open, and then the window closed, just like God said it would. It closed on when? October the 7th, 2023. Now, here we are. It's May the 4th, 2025. The war is still going on. And Israel Hall and a group of people are on their way to the nation of Israel right now. They left this morning early out of Orlando. They flew into New York City, and they're going to be getting on a plane here very shortly, headed for Paris. And Israel just texted me and said, since the attack, Houthis missile that hit at the Ben-Gurion airport in Tel Aviv has, they've opened the airport back up in Israel. They're saying, we're back open, come on. But the other countries are saying, nah, not so quick. We're just not really ready to send people there. So Israel is going to be stuck in Paris, France, for at least 3 days. And who knows how much longer? Who knows what's going to happen during that 3 days? So, this is one of the reasons that I have said, look, God hasn't told me to go back yet. I mean, people are going, but he's told me to hang on. And I guess it's because when I go, I'm going to take a tour of people with me, and it's got to be safe. So pray for Israel that he does get out of Paris and he does get to go to the Holy Land, because he's supposed to do praise and worship on Mount Carmel. He's supposed to be in Jerusalem. He has appointments to sing in different places. So we really want him to make it there. So pray for him as he will be stuck in Paris. Okay. I told him to go visit Emmanuel Macron for me, find out what's going on. And he just laughed. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let me just tell you what else is going on. So why is all this happening? These guys behind me, the Houthis, they're for real. And they are funded by Iran, and they have they have long-range missiles. Why is it so hard to stop the Houthis? Why is this so hard to stop the Houthis in the Middle East? This has been a question that's been raised. Of course, the Houthis for some time have been shooting missiles into Yemen. They're in Yemen, into Saudi Arabia. But now the Houthis have been launching missiles not only into central Israel and into Israel, but they've been also hitting ships, cargo ships, hauling oil or different things in the Mediterranean and in the Red Sea. But this missile that hit in Ben-Gurion airport today has caused an explosion right there at the airport at Ben-Gurion. This led to some airlines canceling flights. Clearly, this missile or a missile fragment or even fragments of an interceptor falling near the people has caused a strategic threat. 6 people are injured. 4 were injured from the missile. 2 others were injured trying to get to shelter. Israel has generally allowed the Houthis to launch long-range missiles over the last 12 months, assuming that these would be intercepted by the Iron Dome. But lately, they've been able to get through Israel's Iron Dome. Israel's launched a handful of retaliatory raids on the Houthis, but not a lot. Now, it's been President Donald Trump who has stepped up, launching airstrikes on the Houthis beginning on March 15th, as Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, has been adamant that he wants to crush the Houthis. This is very, 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 this attack today, though, is a game changer. Although Israeli politicians are issuing usual threats, it is unclear if the Houthis can be easily stopped or deterred. What do we do now? What is the challenge? How come we can't shut these guys down? For over 10 years, Iran has backed the Houthi rebels. They have been able to surprise the Middle East with their capabilities. The group has burst onto the scene in Yemen, transforming from a poor cluster of rebels to a major body that poses a significant threat in the region's security. The Houthis have threatened to take major port cities like Aden, and this has led the Saudi Arabians to get several countries to intervene in Yemen. The Saudi Arabians began their intervention in 2015. This intervention was backed by the UAE, by Sudan, and Morocco, and Egypt, and Jordan, among other states. Most of the nations that backed this intervention did not supply many troops or much military assets, but Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates did most of the heavy lifting. But their differing views on what to do in Yemen also has led to challenges in the terms of how to contain or to push back these Houthi rebels. In theory, they are backing the official government of Yemen. Notably, Yemen itself is divided between a Houthi-controlled mountain area around Sana'a and other parts of Yemen in Aden, as well as areas east of Aden. Now, the area east of Aden, along the Gulf of Aden, is historically South Yemen. The area that the Houthis control are historically called North Yemen. Between 1962 and 1990, these areas have been divided, still in the same country. It's almost like there's two governments there. There really is. Sort of like Libya now. And as for the location, the Houthis have resided in the mountains, and because they are a form of Shiite Muslims, their connection to Iran has increased, and that has led up to this current position they're in and strength they have. This includes the Iranian export of technology for missiles and drones. Eventually, the Houthis created a ballistic missile and a drone program that enables them to threaten attacks deep into Saudi Arabia. Between 2015 and 2018, there's been a total of 83 ballistic missiles fired at Saudi Arabia. This intervention the Saudis led in March of 2015 was probably expected to be a cakewalk, but it's not. Not at all, guys. However, it got bogged down, and in 2017, the Houthis attacked a Saudi naval vessel, and in 2017, then U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, showed off a Houthi ballistic missile and noted the connection to the Iranians that was clear that it was Iranian technology. Now, by 2020, reports at the UN and a conflict armament research concluded that the Iranians were deeply involved in the Houthi drone program. Components of the Houthis, drones and missiles were put on display in Saudi Arabia. And later, the United States American officials privately have called the display of Houthi weapons a petting zoo because of all the drones and types of equipment that were shipped over there. The problem for the Saudis was that despite increased knowledge about the Houthis using Iranian systems, Saudi Arabia has not brought the enemy to the heel. The Saudis have innovated, and they've even used F-15 fighter jets to shoot down Houthi drones. But Saudi air defenses took out ballistic missiles, but it's not enough. The Houthis keep advancing in Yemen. They keep consolidating power. And by 2022, there was a fragile truce in Yemen. China, which has increasingly close ties to Iran, likely helped the Saudi Arabians eradicate itself from the conflict. It brokered a deal between the Saudis and the Iranians in 2023. But guys, that wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Yemen has conflict and then has died down. And it's clear that the Saudi-Iranian reconciliation was likely part for this, but it's worth recalling that back in 2019, the Iranians had attacked Saudi Arabia using drones and cruise missiles. They also attacked ships in the Gulf of omen. Furthermore, they used the Houthis to threaten the Gulf. This was a dry run for how they would eventually use the Houthis against Israel. It's always been about Israel. And with the Saudis out of the picture, the Houthis have consolidated power in 2023. And after Hamas' October 7th, 2023 massacre, they have transitioned to strictly attacking Israel. The Houthis are focused on bringing down the nation of Israel. They began with drones and missile threats and attacks. They've expanded the attacks on shipping channels in the Mediterranean and in the Red Sea. The Houthis have already acquired the Shahed 136 drones from Iran, likely in 2020. This same drone model was then exported by Iran to Russia. The Houthis were able to extend the range of those drones and missiles beyond 2,000 kilometers so they could reach Israel. And in November of 2023, the Houthis hijacked a cargo ship, which they claimed was linked to Israel. They then turned it into a tourist attraction. This was brazen. The crew, all foreign nationals, were released 2 years later in 2025. The ship is still being held by the Houthis. The group was unable to withstand the Saudis and the Saudi-led coalition for 7 years. It then withstood the U.S.-backed Prosperity Guardian campaign that was supposed to protect shipping in the Red Sea in 2024 under Joe Biden. The Houthis have increased the attacks on Israel in the fall and in the winter of 2024, and Israel responded several times. However, they kept up their threats on Israel. The group briefly stopped attacking during the ceasefire in Gaza from January to March, but then they fired it back up again. And when the United States began strikes on March 15th and Israel began strikes on Gaza on March 18th, the Houthis renewed their attacks. And they launched 4 missiles in 3 days, 2 of them on May 2nd, 1 on May 3rd, and 1 this morning on May 4th that hit Ben-Gurion airport and caused the injuries. The Houthis still have their missile capabilities. It is difficult to hunt down these missiles that are wheeled out of the caves in mountains. It's hard to find them. They have these mobile missile launchers. They can hide in the mountains, and then they bring them out and launch. And so, remember back in 1991, it was, Saddam Hussein who used the Scud missiles. And they would just launch these missiles, and they had no direction, and they fell wherever they fell. Those days are over, guys. There's no more Scuds now. These are sophisticated missiles that are able to be directed where to go. They have 2,000-kilometer range. They can hit in the heart of Israel, and it's becoming. And now they're getting around the Iron Dome. Saddam Hussein launched those Scuds, but this was all part of long-range history that shows that groups like the Houthis can do, and the Vietnamese, for instance, were able to move an artillery across Laos and Cambodia and into position to strike the U.S. in Vietnam. They also defeated the French in Vietnam, okay? The fact that they did not have air power did not stop them. The Houthis are a hard nut to crack, folks. They have air power. It's likely not enough to stop the United States if U.S. turns everything on, guns on them, and maybe that's what is going to happen. And I'm going to predict, and I'm going to tell you this right now, the Houthis have claimed to have various missile capabilities. Matter of fact, they say they have a new fueled rocket called Palestine. They say that this is a 2-stage missile with a hypersonic capabilities. This is a solid fuel rockets, can be deployed faster than liquid-fueled ones. And the Houthis also have the liquid-fueled QAM-1, which has a medium-range anti-ship missiles. So they are way more sophisticated than what people want to give them credit for. I really believe, and Pete Hegseth just extended the Harry S. Truman's deployment by another week. He already has the Carl Vinson over there. He already has another aircraft carrier in the area. He's got hundreds of fighter jets. He has B-2 bombers. He has C-130 cargo planes bringing in lots of supplies. We have thousands of troops stationed all over and hundreds of fighter jets. We have Tomahawk missiles. We have sophisticated missiles with stealth capability. And we've got some toys we've never showed you yet. So, the United States right now is looking at these Houthis. And I guarantee you that President Trump is saying, I don't want to unleash hell completely, just open. I don't want to just drop absolutely the fire and brimstone on top of these people. But I'm telling you, folks, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think the Houthis will stop until there is nothing left there. And I really think Donald Trump, who hates war, who's trying every way in the world to figure out a way to do a peace deal, both in the Middle East and in Europe and anywhere else he can, is saying, I do not want to do this. I don't want to do this. But at some point, these people need to understand, Iran needs to understand that we ain't playing. You hear me? We ain't playing. And I think that President Trump is going to drop the hammer. The hammer. I think he's going to drop the hammer on the Houthis and Iran's nuclear facilities would be next. The hammer. That's what I'm saying. I hope not. The hammer.
Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? And Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of a dry bones rattling. This is the praise make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
It's getting crazy. It's gonna get worse.
Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon.
That's right.
Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle
Here in this room. Come on, somebody.
This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Oh, yeah.
This is the praise make a dead man walk again.
Yeah.
Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Thank you for that update about the 7 Iranians arrested in the United Kingdom on espionage and anti-terror police. Oh, boy, it's getting worse.
My God is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that He wants to. Just ask the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha if there's anything that He can do.
Yes, Lord.
Just ask the stone that was rolled at the tomb in the garden.
Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live.
Oh, it's getting crazy. Dry bones live. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, the Bible says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. And upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. Are you serious? That is Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7. Guys, I tell you what, it's going to be powerful. I preached a message today entitled Pray, Watch. Here's what it was called. Watch, Pray, and Rejoice. It was a very prophetic sermon on we're to watch what's going on. We're to pray, and it not only about what's prophetically going on, or politically going on, but what may be taking place in your own personal life. So we're to watch and pray and rejoice, okay? No matter what's going on, watch, pray, and rejoice. And in the key verse, of course, was Luke 21:36. Pray that you be worthy to escape the hour of temptation that's coming upon the earth. And that hour is certainly coming. You need to check it out. It's on this YouTube channel. Check it out. There's some praise and worship on there from the singers at FFC TV. The Freedom Fellowship singers, really, really good. And then I bring the message on watch, pray, and rejoice. Guys, I'll be back tonight's. We're going to be doing a live broadcast at 7 p.m. But there's more going on, so I'm going to come back here in about a half hour or so with another live update. And of course, we are going live tonight at 7 p.m. with everything. So hang around right here on this channel of the coming apocalypse. Don't forget, hey guys, right now is a good time to do this. Right now is a real good time to do this before I come back on in a half hour or so. And that is for $35 love gift. If you just go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com, you can give a $35. You just hit it. Matter of fact, I'll show you. It's real easy. Let's just do that. Let's make it easy for everybody. Let's just show everybody. Here we go. Yeah. Boom. So when you get to the home page, right here's the home page, okay, which you can still order the Saturday teaching that I did a couple weeks ago called Super Saturday teaching called The Gifts of the Holy Spirit. It's only $25, and for it you get me teaching on all 9 gifts of the Spirit for 3 hours. Plus, you get a 20-page workbook that you download on a PDF for free. So if you want to know about the 9 gifts of the Spirit, and I studied at Indiana Christian University. I didn't graduate there, but I did study at Indiana Christian University under Dr. Lester Sumrall, and he actually taught this class. And so I got that firsthand. But I took that teaching he gave me, and Heidi and I then, with 41 years of experience in ministry, we then put together our own 20-page workbook for you. So you get the 3-hour teaching plus the workbook. It's only $25. So go get it at paulbegleyprophecy.com. So when you go to the homepage, that's what you see right out of the blocks. That is what you see right there. But if you want to get this special, up at the top where it says Paul Begley Prophecy, you see where it says Home, Prayer Center, what we're about, on-demand webinars, events, Paul Begley Uncensored, and then boom, there it is, Store. So let's click on the store, and what pops up immediately is the 2 latest items, and there it is, Revelation 9:11. You put your cursor on it, and it changes into Signs of His Coming, because you get both of these right there. You just click right on it, add to the cart, you just get it right there. That's the May Day special, Revelation 9:11 DVD and Signs of His Coming DVD series. You get both of these for $35. That's a big savings, because normally this would cost $55. So $35. I want to ship these to you. I want to get these in your hands, and so that you can watch these DVDs while the supplies last. Okay, I want to get them to you. And so both, I think you could do both. Some of you need to do both. You need to go ahead and get the Gifts of the Spirit. That's an on-demand. Once you get it, you can watch that as many times as you want, as often as you want, from now on, okay? And you get the 20-page workbook on the gifts of the Holy Spirit that Sister Heidi and I put together. It took us quite a while, but we finally got it all together, and then I taught the 3-hour class. You'll really enjoy that. Might as well get that. That's only $25, and get the special here. It's only $35, and it'd be a good time to do that. And I'll be back with more information on the coming apocalypse in about a half hour. I'll be back, because there's some big-time stuff happening that I want to, but it's totally different than what I'm talking about here. So I'll be back, okay? Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. That is the most important thing you can do. I'll be right back.